Hi, I'm Christy Wilbur, the Director of Pupil Personnel Services, otherwise known as PPS. The information I will be sharing addresses the documentation needed when making a referral to PPS for a DAEP or JJAEP placement. Our Board of Trustees and our Superintendent expect all administrators to properly investigate each student referral or behavior appropriately before making a final decision regarding a consequence for being in violation of the District Student Code of Conduct. In addition, all students should be treated fairly and consistently. Consequences should be reasonable and appropriate based on the infraction. Every school administrator is challenged to use various options at the campus level to address inappropriate behaviors prior to the principal, otherwise known as the Campus Behavior Coordinator, or CBC, recommending a student be suspended off campus or referred for placement in a DAEP. As an administrator, when an incident or behavior is observed or brought to your attention, you are obligated to conduct a thorough investigation. When investigating, it is important that you be objective, open-minded, and avoid coercion. Don't make any decision based on appearance, bias, or past behaviors of the student. Be calm. Force yourself to slow down. Don't rush an investigation. That is when you make mistakes or miss key information. Don't promise confidentiality. Do try. An administrator can tell the student that information will be shared only on a need-to-know basis and may type the student's statement, but confidentiality is not a guarantee. Gather information to determine whether the allegation of misconduct occurred. Separate fact from fiction. In other words, avoid hearsay. And most importantly, listen. This is the one simple action which is key to all investigations because more times than none, information is provided to an administrator through verbal discussion. So listen carefully to what the student has to say. As you deal with each discipline issue, check the student's profile to see if the student is a general education student or a student who qualifies to receive special services such as 504 or special education. Should you have a student who receives special services and is becoming a frequent flyer in the office, there is a process that must be followed prior to contacting PPS for a DAEP referral. Located on each campus in the SPED office, there is an ARD checklist for persistent misbehavior or PMB referrals form. A copy of the form may also be found in the PPS manual under the Special Education tab. This completed form would be provided to the hearing officer if a referral was being made to show that the campus has held 2 ARDs regarding the student's behavioral concerns and what they worked on to try to rectify this misbehavior. For PMBs, school administrators should have exhausted all means of support and consequences at the campus level prior to calling PPS with a recommendation for a DAEP placement. Ideas for consequences are located in the Student Code of Conduct, or SCOC, section of the Student Parent Handbook. While not all consequences listed in the handbook must occur, it is advised that the campus attempts all that they can prior to making a referral. Please document that parents and guardians have been involved in all behavioral concerns. There should be no surprises. Once the campus assistant principal has investigated and found that the preponderance of evidence shows the student is in violation of the Student Code of Conduct and the behavior meets the standard for a DAP referral, he or she should inform the principal, CBC, who must concur with the outcome and the referral for a placement at DAP. Contact should be made with your designated hearing officer to provide the hearing officer with all of the information gathered before making a call to the parent guardian. It is always good practice to contact your hearing officer to discuss what you are working on so that your hearing officer can be of any assistance, as well as prepare for your final call to establishing a referral or scheduling of an appointment for an evidentiary discipline conference at PPS. When referring a student to PPS, there are documents the campus must provide the hearing officer to support a preponderance of evidence that the student engaged in a violation of the Student Code of Conduct, as well as documents required by TEA when a school district places a student at a DAEP for state auditing purposes. Administrators can locate the documents needed for a referral to the DAEP or JJAEP in the PPS manual under the DAEP and Expulsion tabs. The hearing officer will need all required documents listed in the PPS manual no later than the day prior to the evidentiary conference. However, to better prepare for the conference and ensure the investigation is complete, the following documents are required within 24 hours after the conference has been scheduled with the hearing officer. The must-have documents are the narrative draft. A sample administrative narrative is located in the PPS manual. We refer to it as the Charlie Brown narrative, and it is in the format PPS would like all administrators to follow. Should you need extra assistance with this, please contact your designated hearing officer. We strongly encourage all assistant principals email a draft narrative to their appropriate hearing officer to preview prior to giving it to the principal to sign off on. All of your hearing officers are more than happy to review your narrative and give helpful suggestions so that you have a complete document that gives all supporting information necessary, is error-free, and does not include opinions, etc. This allows the hearing officer to review the narrative to ensure all pertinent information has been included. Please remember to use the Charlie Brown format when writing the narrative. All student witness statements. The hearing officer reviews all statements prior to an evidentiary conference or expulsion hearing to ensure all information has been investigated and all students and/or adults mentioned within the statements have been interviewed. Pictures and/or nurse report if appropriate. Anytime the behavior involves drugs, alcohol, or injury, this information helps give the hearing officer a better understanding of the incident. It is the responsibility of the administrator to take pictures. Camera video. The administrator should always check the campus cameras to see if there is evidence of the incident. If there is, the administrator should capture that footage and save it for 5 school years. The other documents required for a referral to PPS may be provided to the hearing officer no later than the day prior to the evidentiary discipline conference. Those documents are signed narrative. This is the official clean version with the principal, CBC, signature at the bottom. This is considered an official TEA state auditable document. The signed suspension letter. This document must have the recommendation of placement, administrator signature, and the parent guardian signature, or if unable to obtain the parent or guardian signature, some form of written statement by the administrator that the parent guardian was notified of the incident and provided the time, date, and place of the evidentiary conference at PPS. This document is also considered a TEA state auditable document. If you are having difficulty obtaining the parent's signature, contact your hearing officer for guidance. Teacher status reports. Please remind your staff that this information is provided to the parents or guardians and should not include the teacher's opinion or other students' names. Take time to review these prior to sending them to the hearing officer. Counselor report. A sample counselor report is located in the PPS manual under the DAEP tab. This report should include information about how long the student has been enrolled at your campus, how the student has performed on state-mandated tests, how the student is currently doing academically, if the student has been seen by the counseling office, or any other behavioral issues. SPED MDR 504 MDR. If the student is SPED or 504 and you need guidance in this area, please be sure to talk with your campus coordinator and/or the district SPED or 504 coordinator. Once the MDR has been completed, the parent or guardian signed prior written notice, PWN, for placement will need to be faxed or scanned and emailed to the hearing officer. After the hearing officer has conducted the evidentiary conference and the student is placed at the DAEP as a result of the conference, the hearing officer will email the home campus and DAEP administrator, data processor, and stand counselor, if the campus has one, a notification informing them of the student's placement. The hearing officer will also fax the home campus and DAEP administrator a copy of the parent letter of placement. A copy of both of these documents should be placed in the student's discipline file for state auditing purposes. During past state discipline validation monitoring audits, PPS has found that the campuses with student discipline files containing 100% documentation bind the following documents and place them in a red folder within the student's discipline folder for those referred to PPS for a DAP placement. The following documents are the required auditable documents: the hearing officer's placement letter, parent guardian signed suspension discipline letter, the principal's signed narrative, student adult witness statements or any other supporting documents. For persistent misbehaviors, include all teacher discipline referrals with the parent or guardian signature or notation of administrative contact leading up to the DAEP referral. Any pictures or video, the nurse report, the MDR or 504 MDR, current grades, teacher status reports, and the counselor report. If a student violates the Student Code of Conduct and is being referred to PPS for an expulsion hearing and possible placement to the JJAEP, the campus administrator should follow the expulsion process listed in the PPS manual. Should the administrator need extra assistance, contact the campus's designated hearing officer for guidance. No expulsion information should be given to the parent or guardian without first talking to your hearing officer. In an expulsion hearing, it is necessary that the administrator send all of the documents listed above, plus the parent or guardian's signed web-based expulsion letter to PPS within 36 hours preceding the expulsion hearing so that the hearing officer has ample time to review, redact, and prepare all documents for the hearing. The web-based expulsion letter must be generated through the employee portal. Information regarding how to generate this letter may be found in the PPS manual under the title of Expulsions. The web-based expulsion letter is considered a state auditable document, and an expulsion hearing may not occur without the parent or guardian's signature or documentation supporting the parent or guardian was informed of their rights listed within the letter. Referrals for a DAEP or JJAEP placement require a lot of work for both the campus and hearing officer. Should you have any questions or need any assistance, please contact the campus's designated hearing officer. If you are not sure if an incident requires a referral to PPS, discuss with your fellow administrators, principal or CBC, and hearing officer. I hope this information has helped and you have a wonderful school year. Please be advised that you should always call PPS and speak with a hearing officer for advice if you have any student whose behavior hurts another child, involves a weapon of any sort, involves drugs or alcohol, or is sexual in nature. Remember, our department is always available to assist you.